In the last video, we have discussed about what is class, what is object, and we have done the hands-on. In this video, we'll talk about constructor. Let's start. Now at first, let's declare a constructor. So for declaring a constructor, what do we have to write? We have to write our class name, then suppose obj, or it could be 1 plus or anything. It'll be our object name 1 plus. Now we'll declare the constructor. For declaring the constructor, what you need the new keyword. So we have written new, so you need new keyword for declaring a constructor. And another thing you have to keep in mind that whenever you are declaring any constructor, your constructor name must be same as your class name. So what we'll write phone. See, we have write the constructor, that is new phone. Now in Java, if you don't declare any constructor, JVM will provide you a default constructor. So what is that default constructor is? You have just written public class phone, public static void main, and within that you have written phone 1 plus new phone, right? So we haven't declared any constructor till now. Let me execute this code. For executing the code, what we have to write? We have to go to cmd, and within that we have to write javac phone.java. We have compiled our program and we will execute that. See, our code is running properly. Now we will declare a constructor. The first rule of declaring a constructor is every time whenever you are declaring a constructor, your constructor name must be same as your class name. So what is our class name here? Our class name is phone. Now what we'll write? We'll write phone. And now our constructor has no argument, so we'll pass no argument. See, we are passing 0 argument. So we have just written phone, bracket open, bracket close, second bracket open and second bracket close. Now let me compile this again. I have compiled that and I'm running this file. Yeah, see, we have declared a constructor. So constructor is a special piece of code which will be executed whenever you are declaring an object. Now another thing is you can declare a constructor only one time and you can call that only one time. It will be only executed whenever you are creating your object. After creating your object, it won't work. So you can call a constructor only one time. Now what is the purpose of using constructor? So suppose I'll print, suppose system.out.println, and I'll just write hi, I am a constructor. Yeah, so whenever you execute this code, whenever you create an object, this line or this piece of code will run. See, okay, okay, I have missed a semicolon. Yeah, every time you have to keep in mind that you have used the proper semicolon. Yeah, now let me run this code again. See, we're getting the output, that is hi, I am a constructor. So whenever you create an object, your JVM will by default call this constructor. So you can declare n numbers of objects. Suppose I have a 1 plus, I have iPhone, I have a S4. So how many objects we have? We have total 3 objects. One is 1 plus, another one is iPhone, another one is S4. You just write in the comment section that how many times this constructor will be called. So we have declared 3 objects, that's why it will be called 3 times. You can see that I have called the constructor 3 times. Yeah, so that is your default constructor. Now let's say that how can we pass the parameter into a constructor? For passing a parameter, you have to write, suppose int a. We have written int a within the parameter. Now we have to pass something within that. So what do we have to pass? Basically we have to pass a int type data. Okay, let me compile this code and we'll get an error. I'll tell you the logic behind this. See, we are getting error. So why we are getting error? At first, when we didn't have any constructor, then we are not getting any error. So if you don't write this, see, if you don't write this, we won't get an error. See, now we won't get an error. But whenever you are writing this, you are getting an error. So why we are getting this error? See, whenever you are declaring a constructor, your default constructor will be seized by your JVM. What do you mean by seized by your JVM? Suppose I am removing this. See, now we don't have any constructor in our code. That's why JVM will provide you a default constructor. If you declare any constructor like this, any user defined constructor, then JVM will seize the default constructor. For that, you have to declare separate constructor like this, then it will be executed. See, 0 param constructor. So this is basically constructor overloading. We'll be talking about this constructor overloading in a separate video. Now what we have to do, we have to pass a parameter within that. Suppose I am passing 8, 16 and suppose 4. So our S4 has 4 GB of RAM, our iPhone has 16 GB of RAM, our OnePlus has 8 GB of RAM. So let me print this. See, RAM colon plus a. So in Java you have to use the plus a for printing anything, any variable. See, now you just write the output in the chat session. For S4 it will go to this and it will print that I am a constructor RAM 4 GB. So let me compile this code again. I have compiled that. CLS Java phone, we are getting the output. So this is for your OnePlus, this is for your iPhone, and this is for your S4. So what are the key areas of our constructor? The first thing is your constructor name will be same as your class name. The second thing is whenever you are declaring any user defined constructor, then your default constructor will be seized by your JVM. The third thing is you can pass a parameter within the constructor. The fourth thing is it will be called only at one time. And the fifth thing is you have to use the new keyword for declaring any constructor. And the last thing is you can call any constructor only one time. So in this video we have discussed about what is constructor and we have also done the hands-on. In the next video we'll talk about method. See you in the next video.